To begin the Unit 6 rat dissection, we are going to explore the circulatory system. Deoxygenated blood is returned to the heart via the vena cava. Here we can see paired anterior vena cava draining the head and neck region. In the abdominal cavity, we can see the posterior vena cava, the large blue vessel. Both the posterior and the anterior vena cava empty into the right atrium of the heart. Deoxygenated blood from the right atrium passes through the tricuspid valve into the right ventricle. While the external view of the heart looks like one large ventricle, the ventricles are completely separated by a septum that can be identified here in the internal view of the ventricles. The right ventricle is indicated by the blue latex indicating deoxygenated blood. That deoxygenated blood leaves the right ventricle via the pulmonary trunk. Blood travels to the lungs where gas exchange occurs. Oxygenated blood then returns via the pulmonary vein to the left atrium. Oxygenated blood then passes through the bicuspid or mitral valve into the left ventricle. Note the thicker wall inside the left ventricle compared to the right ventricle. That muscular left ventricle then pumps oxygenated blood out the aorta. The aorta leaves the left ventricle, arching posteriorly into the abdominal cavity. The aorta, serving the anterior portion of the animal, branches on the right side of the animal immediately into a brachiocephalic artery. That brachiocephalic artery then again branches into a subclavian artery serving the right forelimb and a carotid artery serving the neck and head region. Moving from the animal's right to left, we then see the next branch off of the aorta, which is the left carotid artery, followed by the left subclavian artery. The aortic arch then continues downward into the abdominal cavity, running alongside the blue injected vena cava. You can see that the aorta is slightly injected with pink latex indicating oxygenated blood. Both vessels run along the dorsal midline of the animal. The aorta branches in several places to serve the abdominal organs. Here we can see the renal artery serving the kidney. That artery runs from the aorta. It passes beneath the renal vein in order to reach the kidney. Each organ is also drained by the venous system. Here we can see that renal vein emptying into the vena cava for return back to the heart. The anterior portion of the animal is drained by its own venous system as well. Back in the neck region, we can see that the jugular and subclavian veins drain the head and forelimbs, respectively. This deoxygenated blood then returns to the right atrium and the pathway continues.